Hiroyuki Takei's classic manga now has a new adaptation, and as someone who grew with the 2001 version, I decided that I wanted to talk more anime into my channel, so today we're starting to review the first episode of the new Shaman King. We follow the adventures of a young 13-year-old shaman and his teammate, a samurai warrior spirit. In this first premiere episode, it is very much in line with the original show's premiere episode. It has the same name, and in a lot of ways it touches on the general same beats of the original show. But before we dive deeper into this, let me know your thoughts. Did you grow up with the original version of Shaman King? Are you excited for this new one? Have you already seen the episode? Let me know all of that in the comments below, and we will touch spoilers. So if you haven't seen the episode but want to see it, please leave this review for after that. And if you're new here, welcome to the channel. My name is Ren. I like to talk movies, TV shows, anime. So if you want to stay tuned for all the content I got coming, make sure to click the subscribe button down there. It helps me, it helps the channel, and it shows me what you want to see from the content I put up. And as I said, this first episode is pretty much on par with the original show's episode, but it does a lot of things much faster and a lot of things better. First and foremost, we're already introduced to the notion of who will be, of course, the main villain of this show. The cold open in this is the birth of Yoh and how. So we, the audience, already know that they are twins. We already know what this show will be on the long run building to. It gives this sense of importance to the journey of our main hero, and whenever we get introduced or reintroduced to how, we will already know the weight that that gives to the story. It creates for some great drama from the get-go, and we already have a little bit of a notion of how this story could go, even if this was just the first time we're seeing Shaman King. So I really like that. I think it's extremely effective, and it gives us direction. The show also does a lot of things much faster. We already get the notion of Mosuke. In this episode, we get his reunion with Amidamaru, or sort of a reunion with Amidamaru, but we get to see their backstory, what happened between them, how long they've been waiting for each other, and why. And I really enjoy already seeing that in the first episode. We're getting that done so we can really get going with the story come next week's episode. Another thing that's really well done in here is a quick conversation between Manta and Yoh when they're hanging out with Amidamaru at the end of the episode. We already get introduced to the notion of the Shaman King and the notion that there will be a tournament in this anime. That once more gives us a sense of direction and introduces a lot of concepts that the show will, of course, eventually explore. The very intro of the show itself already shows us our main group of heroes already together, even though at this point many of them haven't even shown up. We see a lot of things that will become important in the long run of the anime, so I really like that. I think this episode builds a lot of those concepts that were just thrown into the audience in the previous version just out of nowhere. We had to accept it and keep going with the story in them. In this, it feels very much like we're building them up to eventually pay them off, and that's a really good thing. However, because the show does so much in this first episode to build up all these important story beats and story points and plant these very important seeds, it also feels at points like it's doing a lot of things really freaking fast. Like, Mosuke and Amidamaru don't actually really meet in this first episode. We just have that sword, and we see that Yu did the Hyogatai with Mosuke to create a new Harusame to give to Amidamaru. And that's really it, and I wish you could still have seen a reunion between the two best friends from 600 years ago. That's really my only issue, because apart from that, I think this first episode of Shaman King does everything so much better. It gives importance to so much stuff, and when it comes to Yoh fighting Ryuu and his best placed gang, that's what I call them. I don't care if that's the official name or not. I think you notice much more the difference in Yoh's personality when he's just relaxing and being his jovial self. But when it's time for business, he wises up and he gets serious and focused on what he has to do. So I really like that difference. And most of all, the animation in this new version is beautiful. How the light of the moon bounces off the scenery and the characters, the reflection in their eyes, the lights and shadows, the colors popping off, the details, the crevices on shirts, and all these little things just enhance the visuals in general. And so I think that will really make the show spectacular when it comes to those more grandiose action scenes in the long run, and I cannot wait for next week's episode already. But those are my thoughts on the new Shaman King. Now throwing it over to you. What did you think? How did you feel about it? Is it better, worse than the previous one? Are you new to this? Let me know all that in the comments below. It's the most important part for you to keep going with the conversation. And if you've watched this far, thank you so much. Why don't you consider clicking the subscribe button if you haven't done so yet? Again, it will help me, it will help the channel, and you will stay aware for next week's episode of Shaman King when my boy Taoren comes in. Thank you so much for watching once more. Stay tuned for many videos coming throughout this weekend. I hope to see you in those, and so until then, love each other and love the movies.